Hello, today is January 23rd. Of course, yesterday I forgot to write in my garden journal what I did, so I was just doing that right now. Today is very cold out there. It's like minus 12 Celsius, which would be about 10 Fahrenheit, I believe, but it's nice and warm inside. So today I'm going to transplant the celery. And yesterday, actually, I ended up putting some leek seeds with some paper towel. So I'm going to see how the seeds do with that. They do look kind of dry and shriveled, so maybe they're not very good. We'll find out. But before we do the celery, I'm going to take you over to where I got my soil to use for the onion transplants yesterday, and then what I'm going to use today as well for the celery. So we're going to go on over there. Okay, so this is where I have my extra soil. It is an old cat litter box. I had brought in a big pot with my herbs in them and also a big pot that had some kale in it. And once I got my light set up, I decided to take them out and put them into individual little pots so they can sit on the shelving unit better. And I did put some worms in the pots, so I wanted to see if they were still alive, which in the pot with the herbs, they were. So I had 3 worms, and so I just made this for the worms to live in. And I decided today to get some more, and I'm going to add it to this. So I can keep putting my scraps in here, and then the worms can eat them, and then feed the soil as well. So there's supposed to be 24 worms in here. And I'm just going to dump these guys in here. So there they are. Let them dig their way into the soil. But yeah, I got some food scraps in there. 3 is not quite enough in there to eat all the scraps that I've been putting, so I wanted to add more. So I just counted them, and I counted 23, but there could have been one that I missed, or it already got down into the dirt, because these guys are burying themselves already pretty quickly. I'm just gonna stir up. I did add some water to the soil. I just want to mix it all up. There are no holes at the bottom of this bin, so I just want to make sure that there's not too much water. I'm actually surprised at how much the other worms did eat. Hey, you don't need to go in there. No, you don't need to help. Looks like there's baby worms in here from my other worms. That's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to grab some containers and put some soil in them for the celery. All right, I got 6 containers with soil. I'm not 100% sure how I want to actually do this. These seedlings are so fragile looking. And there's so many. I'm going to put a number of them in each container, and then when they get bigger, I will transplant them again. I think maybe I'll do 9 in each container. All right, 1 is done. Next. These are definitely going to take longer than the onions did. All right, this is our last one that I'm going to do today. There's still a lot of seedlings inside of this container here. What I think I'm going to do is just spread them out to give them some more space, and then see how they do in there. Okay, they're tighten. The first 3 I did 3 by 3, and then the last 3 I ended up switching it and doing 4 by 4. So they have a little bit more space than they did in this other container because they were pretty close. So now they have a little more space to grow, and then we'll see which ones do the best, and we'll take those and transplant them again once they get bigger. But in the meantime, these other ones, well, hello there, Atlas. You want to come and help too, huh? These other ones, I'm going to just kind of spread them out. Atlas is our jumper. Hey, you like to go up on high things, huh? Why don't you go with your sister? Okay, come on. So now these guys have some more room. Just give them a little bit of water. And now they can go into the grow lights. Okay, so there are those celery plants. And then there we go. Our onion and celery. Just a little update on the pepper plants. That little guy. And then we have another one growing right over here. One more thing that I want to do, I'm going to start some tomato seeds. And I know it is pretty early for those, but a couple of years ago, I had an indoor garden and I grew a cherry tomato plant. And I did start it earlier, probably like November, but it ended up growing tomatoes indoors. And when it got nice out, I brought the plant outside, and the whole season I had cherry tomatoes growing, and it grew right up until November. So I'm thinking, since I do have some space in here, that I would like to start some of my tomato plants. And if they can start getting flowers in here, or even just be large enough so that when it does get nice outside, they can start flowering right away, that would be pretty awesome. So I'm going to experiment with that. And I have a bunch of seeds, so if it doesn't work out, it's no harm. But if it does, that would be fantastic. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is to start some of those seeds. Okay, so I have 3 little pots here, and I did label them. I have some store-bought tomatoes that are beefsteak. So I'm going to plant a few of these seeds and hope that a couple of them will germinate. They are from last year, so we'll see. Oops, don't need to put that many in there. Okay, so I labeled it as red package seeds, and then I have red saved seeds, which in 2022, actually, I saved seeds from a beefsteak that I grew and a lemon boy that I grew that were very nice looking tomatoes. And last year, I grew some of the yellow lemon boy plants, and the tomatoes turned out really nice. I grew these beefsteak tomatoes that I bought from the store, and I don't know, they did not look like beefsteak tomatoes to me, but maybe they didn't have the right amount of nutrients they needed or enough water. I'm not really sure, but I was not too impressed with those ones. So that's why this year I'm going to experiment, and I'm going to grow the ones that I saved and see how those plants do as well. Although I think last year when I did these seeds, I started them in a cup with paper towel. because a couple years ago when I tried doing tomato seeds, they would not germinate in my soil. So I don't know. This one is actually seedling soil, so hopefully it will do well. All right, and then now we got our red seeds that I saved. You know what? I'm going to just put a pile of these in here because they are from 2022, and who knows? There's plenty of seeds in there, so it's not like they're lacking in any way. I love the idea of being able to save my own seeds and grow my plants from them. I think it's a good skill to have. And I want to be able to save more seeds from different plants. Okay, and now we're going to do our yellow seeds. And I know last year these ones did well, so hopefully they're still good. It's the only thing, you never know how long seeds are actually going to be good for. But since I saved them myself, I mean, it's no loss if they don't survive. All right. There we go. Just give them a little more water. And I got Saran wrap. Put these on here. And I will leave these on here with the leeks and see what happens. All right, and there we go. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me this week in my gardening vlog. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.